Our next guest is a former firefighter turned singer-songwriter, known for his gritty powerhouse vocals. In fact, he just released a brand new song. It's called Friends. So happy to have him in the studio. Please welcome Tyler Braden. Thank you so much for being here.
How are you doing? Thank y'all for having me.
So, man, a little background. This is interesting. Last year, it really kind of just blew up for you. We talk about one for the record books, right? Doing the American Song Contest.
Yeah.
And, you know,
got married.
And I was going to say, I don't know if I want to put it in that order. Maybe get married first would be the first thing.
Absolutely. It was funny, though. They fell in like the same 6-week period, and we actually had to leave because they were still following some COVID protocol, and we had to leave the hotel we were staying at, and we went and did our wedding on Saturday and had to be back in the hotel to just kind of check in on Monday. And then they let us leave for like a show, and it was kind of a lot of weird, like I said, the COVID protocol, just kind of having to check in, at least so they're covered, you know, on everyone's, health inside, staying in the same hotel. But it was an interesting week for sure, interesting month.
Got married out west, right? At the
we did, Joshua Tree. Yeah.
Beautiful area.
It was amazing.
So you guys, you arrived here about 7 years ago now, right? And you and your wife met here in Nashville.
We did, within like a week or so of us both moving here. Well, we say both moving here. I messed with her because she came from Middle Tennessee, from near MTSU and Murfreesboro, and I came from Alabama. I was like, she was kind of already here.
I was going to say that she's a local girl. She's in the studio. She's videotaping us right now, so we're saying hi. Yes. But I got to ask you, a lot of artists, when they come to town, right, it's hammering away, playing downtown Broadway. For you, you were a firefighter, and you got to town and took a job as a firefighter.
Yeah, I was working for Montgomery Fire Rescue for about 4 years. And that's kind of how I tried to make the move. As I was Googling Middle Tennessee firefighting jobs. In Brentwood, just south of Nashville, happened to be testing coming up. And from the time that I Googled that to the time I was living here was probably 6 weeks, maybe. Oh, wow. It happened really fast. And luckily, I knew one or two people near, and they ended up living with me. And one of them still my tour manager this day. And it was a quick move, but it was worth it in the end.
And I got to say, a lot of people at home going, wait a second, so now you're just fighting fires, and then all of a sudden you realize you can sing. That's not the case. I mean, you were singing. You're from, Slapout, Alabama?
Slapout, Alabama.
What is that, just about north of Montgomery?
Yeah, about 30 minutes, 35 minutes.
So you came from a musical family. I mean, this is something you've been doing.
My parents sang my whole life. Aunts and uncles all sang, and my parents still sing at, social gatherings and things like that around, Tri-County in Alabama. And, I just wanted to be a little closer to Nashville to start figuring things out if that wanted to be a possibility. So the first couple years I was here, I was just living here. I wasn't really networking or anything just yet. But the fire service is what made it possible for me to get close and attempt any sort of shot at the music industry. And the schedule of the fire service, because Brentwood was different than most of the country that's normally 24 on, 48 off. Brentwood is 2 days on and 4 days off. Oh, so having those 4 days off, I was able to go play some shows and go to meetings and have co-writes and not be super tired the entire time, Right. And I mean, it would come after some weird days. My manager can tell you I went into meetings still smelling like smoke from because you can't get it out of your skin all the time that fast. But it was interesting, but going back and forth, I mean, it was great. 2 careers that I really love.
Well, here you are, of course, 2019, you signed your record deal with Warner Brothers, and all of a sudden a pandemic hits and you put the brakes on. Timing, funny, right?
Yeah, it was really weird. I mean, we got our first tour at the beginning of 2020. We were out with Granger Smith, and we were in a Sprinter van on our way to Long Island, New York. And
my hometown, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
So we were going to play the Paramount, and we got called in Pennsylvania, some of the middle of Pennsylvania, like, hey, pull over for a second. The shows might be canceled this week. And they called us like, yeah, come back. They're going to cancel shows for a couple weeks. And we're like, okay. Everybody thought a couple weeks. And, yeah, the rest of 2020 obviously was what it was, sitting around the house and playing a lot of video games and reading and things like that. And but 21, maybe summer of 21, we were able to kind of kick off touring, and it's been really busy ever since. So.
And that American Song Contest, a lot of people recognize you from that. Came the following year.
The following year,
That was just last year.
In 22.
So kind of opened up the gate a little bit more to people knowing who you are and what you do.
It was great. Yeah. It was a fun experience, and just getting to know the other people on the show, because there was a lot of different genres. It obviously wasn't just country music, and meeting people with different backgrounds and just different genres within the genres. Well, genres are already weird to me, but just seeing 50 different kinds of music pretty much from people from 50 states.
As you say that genre is kind of weird, because I mean, across the board you seem like you can go heavy rock and you can do country or bluegrass. I mean, you can kind of across the board do all kinds of music.
Yeah, it's like the the question you get, like, who inspired you? It's like growing up, I listened to, Kenny Chesney and the Chicks and all with my mom,
Right.
but then I would listen to Boys to Men and then Foo Fighters and Goo Goo Dolls and just this whole spread of George Jones and just this whole spread of genres, and so they just kind of come into just what I make is kind of in between, rock and country, and which again, like I say, is really weird to say. To me, it's just music that we enjoy writing, music that we enjoy playing, and just hopefully it's in music people enjoy listening to and going to see.
I was going to say, I think people are going to definitely hear that in what you do, and there's so many great songs. I didn't get to cover all the music, but Neon Grave, I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about Secret. I didn't know if that came from where you come from, but what an interesting story and song. But you're going to stick around. You're going to play the new one for us, right?
Absolutely. We're going to play Friends today.
This is, when you break up and you say, can't we just be friends? No, not so much. You're going to sing that for us. Such a pleasure having you here in the studio. Tyler Braden is his name. Stay with us.